WhiskyJason here, from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Longrow Red, one of 9,000 bottles worldwide. This is the 2020 edition. This is the Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon. So 51.6%. I paid 145 euros for this. And it's Whiskybase number 149495. Now, tiny little story. I was on vacation in April of 2021 down by Freiburg in Germany. Visited a friend of mine in the middle of lockdown, which you should not do maybe, but hey, we did our self-tests and so on, and we had social distancing and whatever else. And we went down to the city of Freiburg. Freiburg is basically, if you have Germany and you go down to France towards the corner and you go down to Switzerland by Basel, it's a little bit above that. A beautiful, beautiful city with university, beautiful, beautiful old houses. They had a value with the COVID that actually they were open. You could go shopping, and we actually went shopping. I walked into this place called, I'm going to show the business card real quick. So this is where I bought it. I bought it at Tabakwaren, which means tobacco goods, Holderried, and it's actually in the pedestrian zone of the Freiburg city. And I had a very, very nice person who actually helped me. I walked in and I went to the right, and there were a lot of Campbeltown whiskeys, a lot of Springbanks. Not many behind each other, but a good variety of things. Pulled out my phone and said, okay, I'm going to check the prices to see if the prices are okay. Now, talking about prices, way back in 2020, this was actually bottled on the 20th of January 2020. The wholesale price in Italy was 80 euros. The wholesale price for this in the Netherlands was 90 euros. The wholesale price for this in Germany was 100 euros. And people really started getting angry because, hey, I can buy it in Italy for like 30 euros less for the exact same one of the 9,000 bottles. Now, that means the original price in Germany was 120 euros. I paid, because it's almost secondary prices now a year later, I paid 145. That's the way that thing is. All right, what am I going to pull out? I'm going to pull out the new Longrow Red. Look at this. Yay. This is 13 years old. This is 10 years old. All right, so this is the whiskey that converted me to Longrow. I only bought it because my super fan said, hey, Jason, go buy it. We want to have it. And I bought this for 119 euros. There was one of the online retailers in Germany that sold it for the normal price. And the price went through the roof. I saw some of these bottles for 2, 3, maybe even 400 euros. So it's terrible at the moment what's happening on the secondary market, at least in my country over here. So this is reused Malbec casks. This is a whiskey that was made in the Springbank distillery. So you have Hazelburn triple distilled, no peat. You have Springbank just 2.81% with peat. And you have heavily peated double distilled Longrow. Longrow and Hazelburn are each 10% of the production at Springbank normally. I don't know what 2020 was due to COVID, and also 80% of Springbank. So take a look at the color. So this is Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is our Malbec. So the Cabernet Sauvignon, the 2020 is red, and the Malbec has a more of a brown color, which is interesting. So this is 52.5%. This is 51.6%. Hey, it's cask strength. They mix the casks together and you see what that is. This was actually matured for 10 years in bourbon and sherry casks before it received its second finish, or the finish for 3 years in the ex-Cabernet Sauvignon from the Vina Montgras on the foothills of the Andes Mountain in Chile, in South America. So, yeah, let's nose them. The interesting thing that I get here is I get ashy, I get peat, then I get some unripe red berries, and then I get a little bit of a wood sweetness malt. Over here, this is the one I really, really enjoyed a lot, the 2020 version, the Malbec, the 10-year-old. This is 13, this is older, this is only 10. Oh, the first thing I get is caramel, Then I get red ripe berries, and then I get a little bit of ashiness. So it's a totally different thing. So that's the thing they want, and that's the thing we get is a variety of different whiskeys, aged at different times, using different casks. But the Longrow Red is always about red wine cask finish. Now that's all the information I have because I'm very new at this. I just started drinking Longrow weeks ago. I've never tried anything from 19, 18, 17, 16, or whenever they started. I have not based my career on drinking Springbank. It has not been one of my things that I've ever tried to do. If I had not been convinced by my super fans to buy a bottle, if I buy the bottle, I make a video of it. I decided, okay, I might hate it, but I'll do it. It was like, I loved this stuff. So I went in the store and I pulled up my phone, looked at prices, and it was a couple of euros less than a lot of the online prices at the moment. They were going for 150. It was only 145. I said, damn, I'm going to buy it. Okay. And I bought it just because of that first experience here, because this blew me away. Now I'm a little bit anxious about what's going to happen now. So let's try this because I'm not the Pete head yet. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The ashiness is much more forward than I remember with this. And also there's a sharpness to the twofold. There's the alcohol sharpness and there's the tartness of that berries. I'm not a big fan of that Cabernet Sauvignon that was used here from Chile. Um, I'm missing a little bit of the sweetness that I remember here. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water and then try both of those diluted down to maybe about, I don't know, 48%. Going to the 2021 release of the refill Malbec from South Africa. On the nose, I really like this, and on the palate, mmm, mmm, mmm. Yeah, Jason's happy. I really, really like this. The peat, the a little bit of the ashiness supports everything. It actually gives a complexity that the other whiskeys have not had. Um, wow, that's good. Wow, that's good. I don't know what this is, but this is absolutely made for me. This is my wheelhouse. This is fabulous, fabulous whiskey. I paid 120 euros for this. Would I buy a new one? Yes. I paid 150, 145 euros for this. Would I buy a new one? No. Would I pay 100 euros buy a new one? No. I don't like this. This is a C whiskey at best for me. That tartness just doesn't do it. But this fruity, sweet, vanilla, a little bit of toffee added in here, together with that Springbank Longrow funk, is just an amazing whiskey. I don't know what they did. This is older, 13 years. This is younger. This is 10 years older. I like it better. Um, this has a little bit less of the alcohol. It still burns with 51.6%. This at 52.5 is perfect. I adore it. It just beautifully opens up and just massages your tongue. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful whiskey. I like this. I have no idea if the vintages before this, the years before this, were actually more like this or more like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like this, but this I really, really like. So this was bottled on, you can actually down look at the bottom here and see, this was bottled on the 1st of December 2020. So both of these are bottled in 2020, this in January, this in December, and I totally, totally like this. All right, I'm gonna give this like a B, value for money, maybe a C, and I'm gonna give this actually a C and a value for money a D. So I'm not a big fan of this one. I'm sure there are people that like this, but if I were to taste the two of these blind, this would blow this out of the water every day of the week. One little tiny sip of this with water added, and let's see what happens. Those Cabernet Sauvignon cask. I like Cabernet Sauvignon, and I must admit I've never ever had a bottle of Malbec. I have to go find a bottle of Malbec red wine and try it myself. This was 9,000 bottles. This was 10,000. I'm sure the 1,000 bottles are good, 10% increase, but it's not enough to satisfy the demand, at least not in Germany. I'm sure you could sell 10,000 of these bottles in Germany alone, let alone the rest of the world. Mhm, mhm. Okay. With water, it's a C plus, but still, this is much better. This has certain dry wine elements. I do like Cabernet Sauvignon myself. I really, that's my favorite type of wine. I hate Merlot. The Cabernet Sauvignon is, the drier the better. With a little bit of water, this gets much better. It's much more enjoyable, pleasant. Um, it's good on the palate. So C plus plus with water, without the water, C. This doesn't need water. This is just a beast all by itself and just beautiful. All right, my question of the day is, what is your favorite Longrow and why? And my second question is, what is your favorite Springbank product? Is it a Hazelburn? Is it a Springbank? Is it a Longrow? I said about a year and a half ago, Springbank is going to be the distillery that you have to go online to auctions, buy those old bottles because the prices are going to explode. Unfortunately, I was right. I'm sorry. I don't think it's because I said it. It's just because I recognize, okay, everyone's going away from Macallan. What are we going to go for next? Springbank. And there's some very, very good stuff out there. Okay, Whiskey Jason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, one of 9,000, one of 10,000 bottles worldwide. Yep, that was right. And thank you very much for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video, maybe actually on a social media platform of your choice. All the best. If you ever need to contact me, whiskeyjason at gmail.com, and don't forget to write in the comments. All the best. Bye-bye.